Alright guys, so yeah, they are cooking us once again mid intra-month limited banner unit. So you guys already know the drill. Yeah, at this point in time, whatever they drop, just pull. Whatever they're dropping is gonna be good because Sinanju is a unit that came out what literally right after the 2 year anniversary, or even it was actually the new, like, after New Year's, a little bit later than that. So this unit is, so I wouldn't say it was bad, but for global, anytime they're releasing a unit that's far out in the future, they gotta be good, at least for like a good time being. It's probably gonna be good for like a good month or two, and then you gotta replace it. This unit is gonna be a fodder, and you're just gonna be using it as a sub slot unit. For green, I want to say for JP, for green, um, we do have a few alternative option now. So Sinanju is slowly fading into just is already collecting dust in my box. Honestly, I can definitely give you guys. Well, I mean, by the time you guys are watching this, you guys should have already seen kind of like a alright, how Sinanju's doing type video. So you guys would definitely get an idea of how this unit performs. But for global, I mean, it's kind of a joke because we're just not prepared for these unit to release. But it's alright. At this point in time, like I reiterate, I think if I keep saying it, I'm gonna be like a broken record. Just keep mentioning over and over again. Like they're just baiting us out, and I'm not having it. So I just don't think what they're doing is right. Catching up is one thing, but not going in order and just dumping SD unit and then going back to release a lot of the older one in whatever fashion they're doing is just not right. I don't like the method they're doing it. It's just outrageous in my opinion. But I mean, I guess that is enough of the ranting in my opinion. But yeah, so Sinanju is more of a crit monster. You can kind of say it is fairly similar to the purple perfectibility NTD, but this one doesn't really have any restriction in a way. This one is kind of free range. You give this you pair this unit up with Easy 8 and any other future units that provide critical rate, critical attack. This unit is gonna perform well, at least until it get phased out. That's the thing. So starting with the EXQ, just your typical EXQ damage, and for 20 seconds you are getting a base, should be base 40% critical attack, but up to 60%, and bullseye for 10 seconds. So this is where this unit, from time to time, in my opinion, I still use it because of the bullseye effects. Because like when I'm trying to scramble through my box, like oh my gosh, I need a unit that can give me bullseye. Well, I would just look for Sazabi, or sorry, Sinanju, and that is kind of like its main purpose, like just to use it, because if you're getting guaranteed bullseye, you can at least guarantee a hit. So that was the only one thing that I keep using it on a specific event. And the other thing, like if you are going to be using it in the near future, I think it's definitely going to be the unit category. Like I remember one time there was an event that you have to use a rifle unit, and I was like, dude, I don't have any strong rifle unit option or something like that. And I was like, oh, there you go, rifle unit, red mobile suit. So if you are thinking about some of those like really niche, like a 1 week event, like, so if you're thinking about like a 1 week event where you get a maximum of 3,000 diamonds, but here's the but part, you have to spend, let's say on an average 21k. Does that cost difference makes any sense at all? So you are essentially having a net loss of 18k for that week, I guess, because you have to summon for it. But I mean, in the long term spam things, I mean, I wouldn't say it's worth it because of how much how much more insane a lot of those units becomes, how much more effects it's given, and it just get crazier and crazier. So if you think Sinanju is crazy, you gotta wait until you see some of those posts. Are we into 3 years yet? Yeah, for JP it is for sure it is. But once you get down to that, oh my gosh, man, you're gonna look at Sinanju. It's like, whoa, why did I sell my production? It's not even that great, you know. But skill one, you have like your basic package. I think back then we were just getting accustomed to skill one having just like a standard, kind of like a built-in type deal, because a lot of these units were just getting them like baseline. You're getting 58 on across the board for everything. So damage taken down, evasion increase, critical rate up, and then beam damage up by 58%. So that is your base digit, and every unit has it. For global, these are becoming much more of a norm. So I know some units don't have it, but a lot of them just straight up you have them. So innately making them just strong because you inflate the base stat pretty much. So imagine you're just doing base 100% damage. Now you're up to 158 for the baseline. So just pretty insane stuff if you ask me. Skill 2 is not all that crazy, honestly. Increase max damage by 200k. I mean, you guys literally see this unit right here. So Data Plus is actually a little bit later than Sinanju. I think it was actually a week after that. So if you're talking about the release order wise, you can kind of argue it is about right. I think during that given period, they would just non-stop releasing a lot of these green units. No, I think Data Plus was actually after Perfectibility NTD. So I'm wrong on that. It's actually a few months later. So that's why you're getting, voila, 1.2. But I'm not going to talk too much about Data Plus because you guys already know the drill with that unit. But yeah, 200k is not that crazy. When you guys have seen 1.2, 600k is actually not that much. On critical hit for 10 seconds, you are increasing beam damage up by 17% for 5 times. So this was kind of like the part where Sinanju kind of like lags in a little bit. You don't really have a lot of like extra base just damage increase. So rely on critical is not bad, but they could be situations you cannot land them. So that's gonna be a problem. So on critical hit, you also do recover 6% EX gauge. So that's good. Just to help you stack the guaranteed bullseye, because the problem with Sinanju is charging up the EX gauge is actually slow after you pop the initial one. So if you have it at Transcendent skill level 5, you pop that initial one, the second time around it's gonna be slow. Even having the built-in EX skill gauge recovery is still a little bit slow. So that's gonna be the problem with this unit. And the sub ability is fine, 3% or 3 seconds guaranteed bullseye status for any green mobile suits. That's gonna be pretty powerful, honestly. As far as the weaponry wise, you just have your basic combos like range, proximity, and then range. So it's pretty typical stuff. 3 hit the piece, so you guys have that. But I mean, other than that, going back to the Transcendent skill, increase accuracy, increase evasion, and then 80% EX gauge restore at the beginning of the battle, and then on critical hit, restore 10,000 HP. So that was the other factor that I like about this unit, kind of quote unquote self-sustain. When you're talking about some hard content, you might need it, but 10 times out of 10, you still get one shot because there's nothing further deals any damage mitigation. So any future hard content, this unit gets smokes. So that's the problem. But I mean, overall, it's not bad for global. No, by no means. It's good, but how much longer could it last? That's the thing. So that's always something I reiterate, because for global, it's unpredictable. They drop one thing that is like seemingly good, next thing you know, they're dropping something even way better. So now that we're taking a look at the May limited week, like there's definitely tons of options that they can drop. Like for me personally, I would just love them to just screw us over and drop the latest green. You know what? Drop G Self. You know what? Yeah, just drop that. I mean, just drop the best unit in the game right now, or not the best unit in the game, but the latest unit. The latest green limited is the G Self Atmosphere Pack. Just drop that for us. Who cares? They don't care about the player base. Just drop the latest unit and call it a day. And at that point in time, we won't even have to summon for like the inevitable future, because that unit could probably last a good time. But full Frontal, he's alright. You know, like moving forward, a lot of these pilots are just gonna be massive passive. So I mean, and moving forward, you kind of have to have the palette, because if you don't have the palette, you're essentially missing a huge piece of the puzzle. So there's really no point of like, oh yeah, go for it, not go for it, because you have to go for it. That's the thing. Not a lot of them actually just cross over. You just have to have the signature palette. Simply as that. And this one being a green and generic, and it does fit into a lot of build, obviously. But if you guys are talking about like, oh whoa, I don't have any diamonds, who do I actually go for? Well, first thing I'm gonna say, you guys are screwed, because you guys are missing a huge portion of the damage, because on critical hits 1, 2, and 3, or just 2 and 3, what the heck, 1 and 2, you're getting upwards of 60 or 46 times 5 on both of them. So you are essentially talking about 92% times 5 whenever you pop critical hit. So yeah, you're gonna be missing a huge chunk of damage, and your Sinanju is gonna be hitting like a wet noodle. Simply as that. So if you guys don't have the funds to go for it, don't even summon for it, because you guys are gonna regret it, and whatever that new limited unit is just gonna hit like a wet noodle. Like I don't know, man. But if you guys are talking about like, oh, I gotta go for it, and you're like, well, who is like the next candidate? You can look for the green perfect ability Dappinager, the non-entity version. That one does actually fit as both generic and green, so it fits the budget. But like I said again, you're gonna be hitting way weaker, and it's not gonna be worth it. So there you guys have it. If you guys are deciding to go for Sinanju, be my guest and go for it. There's honestly nothing to stop you guys, because it is good for the time being until it get replaced like by the end of the month probably. So go for it, have fun with it, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.